Shanghai is the financial hub and most international city in mainland China. It is home to more than 24 million people. This is an ever-changing modern city, a blend between the East and the West. Its diverse architecture ranges from traditional Chinese to 20th century European. There is a place in Shanghai for everyone. Hello everyone and welcome to Shanghai. This is a city I grew up in and called home for 15 years. I've also been lucky enough to live in some of the biggest metropolises in the world, including New York and Hong Kong, but I've got to say, Shanghai is the best of them all. If you ever get the chance to visit this magnificent city, here are 10 places you must check out. If you only have a few hours in Shanghai, the #1 destination you should visit is the Bund, or Waitan in Mandarin. Due to the international settlement in the 1900s, the Bund has a row of iconic European-style buildings. The most famous one is this one behind me, which is the Customs House Clock Tower. It has the same clock and bell as the one used in the London Big Ben. East across the Huangpu River is Shanghai's iconic CBD, Lujiazui. Right behind me is the Pearl Tower, the symbol of Shanghai and the first landmark that was built in this new Pudong district. Lujiazui is also home to the second tallest building in the world and the tallest building in all of China, the Shanghai Tower. Joining it are two other massive skyscrapers, the Jingmao Tower and the Shanghai Financial Center. This is also one of the filming locations for the Spike Jonze movie Her, where they try to create futuristic LA right here in present-day Shanghai. Surrounding Lujiazui is Binjiang Park and Binjiang Dadao. Originally, this place was just this 2.5-kilometer park right opposite of the Bund, but now it's extended into this 30-kilometer area on the east side of Huangpu River. There's a jogging lane here and a cycling lane. The best way to explore this area is definitely by bike. So hop on one of those shared bikes and let's go. Back on the other side of the river, we have Xi'an, West Bund. Many old factories and buildings left over from the 2010 Expo are now converted into art galleries, museums, and activity spaces. My favorite one is the Long Museum, built around an old coal hopper line. This is also a popular district for leisure activities like skating clubs and outdoor yoga. Let's talk about food for a sec. When you come to Shanghai, the two things you have to try, the steamed dumpling xiaolongbao and the fried bun shenjianbao. You don't need to go to a fancy restaurant like Ding Tai Fung to have delicious pork buns. The three dishes on this table added together cost only $5 US. So let's dig in. When you bite into the xiaolongbao, it's just this burst of flavor. The soup explodes into your mouth. It's absolutely amazing. The Xuhui district in Shanghai is famous for streets filled with wutongshu, sycamore trees. When the light shines through the leaves, an ordinary street can look magical and romantic. Some of the best places to see this are Hengshanlu and Wukanglu, but my favorite is Yongkanglu. If you are a coffee lover, there are also many cute coffee shops on this short 600-meter portion of Yongkanglu, perfect for a relaxing afternoon. If you want to see old Shanghai, you should definitely visit the Yuyan and Laoximen area. This is one of the few places where they still have this old traditional architecture. One of the most interesting things you can try in Yuyan is the big soup dumpling. The soup dumpling here is like this big, and you drink the soup in it from a straw.
感觉一下喝了5、6、7个小笼包的汤，很鲜，就是有那个蟹黄的味道，好喝。
Yuyan will give you a taste of old Shanghai culture with shops filled with souvenirs, traditional clothing, and street food. However, it's highly commercialized. If this is your first time in Shanghai, I do recommend going. But if you want to see real old Shanghai, cross the street and head to Laoximen. Laoximen is a residential neighborhood with no tourists. Lose yourself in the maze-like streets Nongtang. But people still live here, so be respectful. If you want to go shopping, head to Nanjing Donglu East Nanjing Road, Shanghai's largest pedestrian street. Here you will find restaurants and brands from all over the world. Similar to the row of buildings on the Bund, many shopping malls here were built in the early 1900s with a European-style look. When Nanjing Road lights up at night, it is just as grand as Times Square in New York, or even better. If you are too tired from walking, you can also take the small train that takes you from one end to the other. An alternative shopping hub is Jing'an District, but in weird contrast, it is also home to the large Buddhist Jing'an Temple and small local parks. These neighborhood parks are a unique taste of what locals do in their free time. Jing'an Park is actually really worth checking out. You will find people playing weird instruments, playing a game of xiangqi, or just dancing to music. It is also one of the few places in Shanghai with street performers. After a day of exploring the city, it's time for a drink, and Xingtiandi is probably one of the best places you can come to. This place is very popular among expats and photographers. Nothing beats its cute alleyways and romantic vibe. To close off this list, of course you can also visit the happiest place in Shanghai, Shanghai Disneyland. Shanghai's nickname in Chinese is Modu. This roughly translates to mystical city, and for good reason. Even though Shanghai does not have a long ancient history like Beijing or Xi'an, it is still a living and breathing museum. Every corner of this city is a beautiful reflection of its contemporary history. On the other hand, places like New Pudong District represents Shanghai's crazy transformation. Only 30 years ago, this piece of land was completely flat. Now it is an international financial hub and one of the most breathtaking skylines in the entire world. There is a vibe that this city gives off that I just can't quite put into words. You will just have to see for yourself. Shanghai is forever my favorite city, and I will never be bored of exploring it. Of course, there are still hundreds of other places in Shanghai I haven't been to yet, but I just hope that when you do visit this amazing city, you will love it as much as I do. See you in Shanghai.